I can tell you that the number one problem in Hollywood was and is and always will be pedophilia. That's the biggest problem for children in this industry.
The casting couch even applies to children.
Oh yeah. Not in the same way. It's all done under the radar.
Nobody talks about pedophilia.
It's the big secret.
And it's widespread?
Oh yeah. I was surrounded by them when I was 14 years old. Surrounded. Literally. Didn't even know it. It wasn't until I was old enough to realize what they were and what they wanted and what they were about and the types of people that were surrounding me till I went, oh my God, they were everywhere like vultures.
Vultures who Feldman says abused him and his best friend, the late child actor Corey Haim, his co-star in The Lost Boys.
Well, what happens if my mom is dating the head vampire?
Feldman says the trauma of that pedophilia contributed to Haim's death.
There's one person to blame in the death of Corey Haim, and that person happens to be a Hollywood mogul. And that person needs to be exposed, but unfortunately I can't be the one to do it. But the person that knows who did it and knows who he is watching right now, I guarantee you. Yeah.
Intriguing.
Yeah. There was a circle of older men that surrounded themselves around this group of kids. And they all had either their own power or connections to great power in the entertainment industry.
Feldman won't name names. And he admits his friend had a struggle with addiction, which he says was a mechanism to cope with his demons.
It was a symptom.
It was a symptom, correct.
Are we in it?
In 2008, the two Coreys confronted each other on their reality show about the dark past they shared.
You let me get around in my life, man. Raped, so to speak. When I was about 14 and a half, and I'm
Until 1995, I suffered from a debilitating condition known as multiple personality disorder. In 1985, I embarked on the long and tedious, painful road to recovery. Through years of therapy and deprogramming, I completely reintegrated my multiple personalities back into my uniform core self, and through the grace of God, I am alive today to convey to you my true life experiences. This account of my remembrances will be so shocking and amazing that you may feel that you've entered the twilight zone. Until 1985, really, I thought I was living a perfect life. I thought I had a perfect childhood. I thought I had, perfect parents and family, and that my family that I married was perfect. It couldn't have been farther from the truth. My multiple personality condition resulted from what I had first thought in 1986 was solely sexual and ritual abuse. But as I began to remember and heal more of my hidden past, I realized that ritual abuse was merely the mind control, trauma base my pedophile father and others used to condition me for participation in Project Monarch, the Central Intelligence Agency's white slavery operation. Mind control sex slaves are created by starting with a child from birth and inducing trauma, which for me was done in the form of being sexually abused and then being satanically abused within a church, and then also at home where I was put through a trial of satanic rituals, which means there were blood rituals done where I was forced to witness animals and people being sacrificed. And then things such as in the church, I was sexually abused by the minister there. And a lot of it was a cover for pornography and then child prostitution that looked like I was going to choir practice, but once the doors were closed to the area where we did that, we were taken down in the basement, and it turned into kiddie porn where we were being filmed.
I was an FBI agent for 27 and a half years. At the time of my retirement, I was the senior special agent in charge of the FBI Los Angeles Division. I have been qualified in the courts as an expert on cults and satanic ritual abuse. I'd have to say that Bryce Taylor's story has been confirmed over and over again through my various sources. I also have contacts on the inside of the U.S. intelligence community. I have information from various sources that judges, law enforcement, prosecutors, attorneys, doctors, and many, many prominent individuals, including actors, actresses, professional football and baseball players, are involved in these type activities.
After I fled from California, I began having vivid, detailed memories of being used as a sex slave to some of our nation's highest level government officials. Among them were John F. Kennedy, Lyndon Baines Johnson, Nelson Rockefeller, Henry Kissinger, Gerald Ford, Jimmy Carter, Ronald Reagan, George Bush, and top entertainment professionals such as my owner, Bob Hope. The truth is that there are slave auctions that very elite people attend to be able to own and buy the best mind control slaves that money can buy. Frank Sinatra was Bob Hope's friend, and he actually was the person that was in charge of me a lot when I was in Las Vegas on assignment. I would be taken there to be prostituted to Elvis or to some of the other entertainers there during the shows. Dean Martin, Bing Crosby, Sammy Davis Jr., and all types of different situations. And I would be taken to different parties where they were at, where then I was prostituted, or they would make some pornography or something. The theme of the pornography filmed by Sylvester Stallone was sex with dolphins, and he was filming a lot of these young girls with the dolphins, and that was actually pornography that was shared with a lot of people later on. They filmed us over years with all sorts of animals. I mean, it was gross. There was a film that was made when Kelly was a very little girl. It was called Mommy and Me, and it was, just incestual themes of all sorts of interfamilial sex. And during the time all this was happening, I was under total mind control, and so was Kelly. We didn't even know this was going on. We were just puppeted like robots to do these things. I know that some of my perpetrators were actually known Satanists, and some of them were not. I know that Sammy Davis Jr. actually painted his little fingernail with red nail polish and was actually part of a satanic group.
How does satanic ritual abuse play into all of these prominent people being involved in this stuff?
If you go back 225 or 30 years ago, you have what we call the Illuminati that was established in 1776. And the goals of the Illuminati, this is all very well documented, are to take over the world. One of the best ways of taking over the world is to control people's minds and to take over a country through the control of the minds. So what's happening in America, and based on my research and my interviews with numerous individuals, is that the powers that be, the higher-ups, the people in the Illuminati, are using the satanic cults as a means and as a tool to condition individuals and to make them victims of the mind control, MK Ultra mind control program. There's probably close to 4 million practicing Satanists in the United States alone, based on my intelligence information.
Why was it that the Queen of England saw you as being the perfect candidate for genetic engineering?
In a series of meetings that took place before Reagan was president, he took me to England, where we had private meetings with the Queen. During those meetings, I overheard them talking about my genetic structure and the bloodline that would house that genetic bloodline. And she was very interested in having Ronald Reagan be the father of that child. They decided that I would be impregnated for later breeding within the royal family. It's an experience that still causes me a lot of pain, and although I was under mind control, and wasn't really aware of this for years, consciously, the full ramifications of this. I had thoughts about this baby, and I was depressed, and I was sad, and I wanted him back, and I cried for months afterwards. They kept saying that this would further American diplomatic relations with the UK, and that I was serving my country at the highest levels by making this contribution. But the truth is, it was not my choice, and I didn't make a willing contribution of my own child. And I'm hoping that my child, my son, will know who he is and will wake up.
If the Queen would be watching this show right now, what is a message that you would want to give to her?
I would just like to tell the Queen of England that whether a person's under mind control or not, that no one has a right to take a child from someone, and that if she didn't know I was under mind control, that I would, understand, but that, I would just appeal to her as a mother and ask for her cooperation in this situation, that I could be at least reunited with my son.
Now to the latest on Harvey Weinstein. The New York Times reporting allegations by numerous women who say the Hollywood mogul sexually harassed them. His alleged victims over nearly 3 decades include stars like Ashley Judd and Rose McGowan. Now Weinstein is threatening to sue the New York Times for defamation, and Lisa Bloom, who is defending Harvey Weinstein, is standing by. First, though, we have ABC's Lindsay Davis here with more on the story. Good morning to you, Lindsay.
Good morning, Amy. That lawsuit is reportedly for $50 million. The New York Times quotes Weinstein as saying, "I came of age in the 60s and 70s when all the rules about behavior in workplaces were different. That was the culture then." And now one of the most powerful men in Hollywood says he is taking a leave of absence to, quote, conquer his demons.
He's the movie mogul behind some of Hollywood's biggest blockbusters.
Because I am so much crazier than you.
Keep your voice down.
An industry legend for so many A-list stars.
Harvey Weinstein, who believed in us and made this movie.
My friends at Miramax for making this film, especially Harvey.
He's politically well connected too, hosting a fundraiser for Hillary Clinton and hiring Malia Obama as an intern earlier this year. But now the New York Times is reporting bombshell allegations against Harvey Weinstein, describing several accusations of sexual harassment against the studio executive worth $200 million, and citing 2 anonymous company officials saying Weinstein reached at least 8 settlements with accusers. The alleged victims, as reported by the Times, are all in varying positions, from an assistant to a model to a movie star. Ashley Judd.
Somebody help me.
Judd tells the Times that in 1997, while filming Kiss the Girls, the then head of Miramax Studios invited her to a breakfast meeting at the luxurious Peninsula Hotel in Beverly Hills. Judd tells the paper that Weinstein requested she come to his room, where he appeared in a bathrobe and asked if he could give her a massage or if she could watch him shower. She told the Times she recalled feeling panicky, trapped. "Women have been talking about Harvey amongst ourselves for a long time," said Judd, "and it's simply beyond time to have the conversation publicly." But now Weinstein is speaking out to the New York Post, saying he bears responsibility for his past behavior, but claims the Times article is reckless reporting. Judd, seen here at an Academy Awards party with Weinstein after the alleged incident, went on to act in 2 more movies produced by his studio, 2002's Frida and 2009's Crossing Over.
I am required to present it to you.
The Times also reports that a legal document the paper reviewed showed actress Rose McGowan reached a $100,000 settlement with Weinstein in 1997.
Oh, you want to play psycho killer?
As a result of an alleged episode in a hotel room at the Sundance Film Festival, although the document indicated the settlement was not at admission by Weinstein. McGowan, who declined to comment to the Times, tweeted after the article posted Thursday, "Women fight on, and to the men out there, stand up. We need you as allies. #be brave." This 65-year-old father of 5, seen in this Daily Mail photo departing his New York City office as news broke, told the Post that he wants to earn the forgiveness of Judd and that his family stands by him. He's been married to fashion designer Georgina Chapman since 2007. The Weinstein Company head told ABC News in a statement that I appreciate the way I've behaved with colleagues in the past has caused a lot of pain, and I sincerely apologize for it, though I'm trying to do better. I know I have a long way to go, adding that he is taking a leave of absence from work and is working with therapists.
Weinstein is now hitting back at the Times, claiming the explosive report is, quote, saturated with false and defamatory statements and vowing to file that lawsuit. He's now hired Hulk Hogan's lawyer, who won him a $140 million settlement against Gawker. The New York Times tells ABC News they are confident in the accuracy of their reporting. George.
Okay, Lindsay, thank you. We're joined now by attorney Lisa Bloom, who is advising Harvey Weinstein. Welcome back.
Thank you.
To GM. I have to say I'm surprised you're here this morning. You've been here in the past. You've represented women who've taken on Bill Cosby and Bill O'Reilly, Donald Trump, sexual harassment cases. Why did you switch sides in this case?
Well, I've known Harvey for about a year, and these rumors have swirled around him for a long time. And I said to him, you know, what's going on? This is not okay. And Harvey and I had a lot of frank conversations about this. And when this New York Times story was about to break, and Harvey expressed to me the same remorse that you see now, I said, we have to throw out the old playbook, okay? You're not going to be attacking women. You're not going to be disrespecting women. You're not going to be digging up dirt on them and embarrassing them. You know, that's the tired old way to go. But if you are genuinely remorseful, say so, admit what you've done wrong, apologize, and let's have your actions, you know, speak for yourself.
Let's get to that. Did he sexually harass women?
I think Harvey has acknowledged, yes, that there was misconduct over a period of years. He has certainly a very bad temper, and that's a big part of the problem. He's well known for that. He's a big, loud guy. People are intimidated by him. I'm not. You know, I'm a big mouth lawyer myself. I'll stand up to him. But if I'm a 23-year-old in his workplace, of course, they're intimidated.
It's not just bad behavior. The question is it sexual harassment? And the reason, you know, it raises the question is his lawyer says the New York Times story is saturated with false and defamatory statements. Ashley Judd says she went for a business meeting, said he proposed a massage, asked if she would watch him shower. Is she lying?
No, I have great respect for Ashley Judd, and so does Harvey. And, you know, while they have a little different perspective on what happened 20 years ago, okay, this is not about attacking any of the women. I'm glad they come forward. I encourage them to come forward. Harvey has authorized me to say that. I mean, this is a very different day. What do you do if you have behaved badly for 30 years? Are you going to continue, or are you going to start, you know, a different approach? That's what he's doing.
And he did reach a settlement with Rose McGowan?
I can't talk about whether there are any settlements. I can tell you that generally when there are settlements, confidentiality is always a term, so people can't talk about it, unfortunately.
Well, but here's the problem. The New York Times says that in interviews, 8 women describe varying behavior by Mr. Weinstein, appearing naked or nearly or fully naked in front of them, requiring them to be present while he bathed, or repeatedly asking for a massage or initiating one himself. This is a real pattern.
Yeah.
Over 30 years.
Yeah.
This is like textbook sexual harassment.
It's gross. Yeah.
It's illegal.
Yes. You know, I agree. See, you have to understand that, you know, yes, I'm here as his advisor. I'm not defending him in any sexual harassment cases. There aren't any sexual harassment cases. I'm working with a guy who has behaved badly over the years, who is genuinely remorseful, who says, you know, I have caused a lot of pain.
But then why is he suing the Times?
Well, he has a different lawyer handling that, because a lot of the allegations, there are witnesses who say those things actually did not happen, and the Times did not take that into account. They didn't report what some of the witnesses said. For example, some people said, I think he was having an affair with this other woman. When that other woman was contacted, she said, absolutely not.
Yeah, but you just acknowledged the stories where people come forward publicly. Ashley Judd's story, you don't think she's lying?
I'm not accusing Ashley Judd of lying at all. I'm glad she's come forward and spoken out her truth.
You don't think the other women, Emily Nestor, another employee, came forward?
I'm not accusing anyone of lying. We are not going to do that. What Harvey Weinstein has done is wrong. He has caused pain. He said that. I have said in my statement, listen, you know, I've done a lot of cases on behalf of women.
Terry Crews, the former NFL linebacker turned actor, adding his voice to the tidal wave of people sharing their claims of sexual assault in Hollywood.
And people say, wow, man, you should just laugh it off. You should just forget it. You know, no, I'm not going to forget it.
Crews is known for his comedic macho roles on the hit TV show Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
I just happen to be a great person who's naturally beloved by all.
Or the shirtless, boisterous Old Spice pitchman.
You smell so manly, scientists who want to study your manliness.
But he says his tough guy persona didn't prevent him from becoming the victim of a powerful man.
I was sexually assaulted by Adam Bennett, who was the head of the motion picture department at William Morris Endeavor.
In February of 2016, Cruz says he and the Hollywood super agent Adam Bennett were at the same party. Bennett has represented some of Hollywood's biggest names: Liam Hemsworth, Emma Stone, Sylvester Stallone, Eddie Murphy, and Adam Sandler.
You're talking about a very, very powerful man who has access to studio heads. What they do affects every part of the business, from producers, writers, actors. They own finance companies, the whole thing.
And did you know him before the party?
And I did not know him. I heard of him. We had never, ever even had a conversation, okay? So I just heard, and actually, I was actually looking forward to meeting him.
But instead of a professional meet and greet, Cruz claims Bennett leered at him from across the room.
And he looked me in my eyes, and he was sticking his tongue out overtly sexually to me. I mean, it was no mistake that this was a sexual type tongue move. And I'm going, and I'm thinking it's a joke. I'm thinking, is this how this guy breaks the ice? I don't understand what this is.
Confused, Cruz said he reached out to shake his hand.
I reached my hand out, and he takes his right hand and under mine and immediately squeezes, grabs my genitals, and I'm jump back like, hey, whoa. And he jumps back, and he still does this tongue stuff, and he's making weird noises, and then he comes back again and grabs me again. And I slap his hand away, push him back more forcefully, and I'm like, what are you doing?
According to Cruz, the alleged groping happened in front of his wife, Rebecca King Cruz. She confirmed her husband's account to ABC News.
So she's witnessing the entire thing.
She's witnessing the whole thing.
Before they start promoting him real hard, he took a hard one in his anal. And usually, like I say, whoever recorded it, they didn't record it for the public. That was a private video to keep him in line, just in case he wanted to say something. They threatened him with the video. Well, something must have happened where they leaked it. They did the same thing to Chris Brown. I don't know. I'm just telling you the truth. They got tape on Chris Brown. All of them. P. Diddy, Tyrese. That's why Tyrese is breaking down so much. They really want his daughter. And then he went back to Dubai. He trying to, you know why he went back to Dubai? To try to convince the people to let him off the hook, to try to do some more gay stuff. And they saying, we don't want to screw you no more, man. We want your daughter. It's time for you to get a blood sacrifice.
Don't take my baby, please. Don't take my baby. Don't take my baby. Oh, this is all I got. This is all I got. This is all I got. Don't take my baby, okay? I've been away from my baby for 2 months. I just want my baby. And no one's listening because no one's in the courtroom. I'm not doing anything illegal. But I don't want nobody. Oh my God, am I doing something illegal by doing this video, or am I protected by the First Right Amendment or the amendment? Don't take my baby. I'm at $13,000 a month. What more do you want from me? Oh my God.
Why they coming after Harvey Weinstein and Kevin Spacey, now Sylvester Stallone? They don't want it. They're done. They already told them, you can do whatever you wanted to me. I'm not doing no more. So they all in alliance with each other saying, we got to take a stand. Because they won't stop. They do the sexual rituals. They drink blood. They drink urine. They do the poop. And then sometimes they have to be in disguise and watch it. Like watch a person get turned out. That's their duties too, to watch the rituals. And then they go to this dungeon where they get beat up. That's what they did to Rihanna.
And a fraud, let me tell you something. I'll tell you a couple of stories about fraud. The Bohemian Club, as you say, the Bohemian Club? That's where all those rich Republicans go up and stand naked against redwood trees, right? I've never been to the Bohemian Club, but you ought to go. It'd be good for you. Get some fresh air.
I know you consider yourself a Catholic, but what happens when you worship Moloch at the Bohemian Grove? New York Post says that male prostitutes are shipped into the Bohemian Grove. Can you tell us what happens there?
You actually believe all this junk?
Bill Clinton said that Republicans run around naked in the woods there.
As you say, the Bohemian Club? That's where all those rich Republicans go up and stand naked against redwood trees, right? I've never been to the Bohemian Club, but you ought to go. It'd be good for you. Get some fresh air.
And you don't want to know what Richard Nixon said about the place.
The Bohemian Grove that I attend, one time to time, the Easters and the others that come there, but it is the most faggy goddamn thing you will ever imagine in San Francisco crowd, because it's just terrible. I mean, I never want to shake hands with anybody in San Francisco.
That's the place you attended. It's a secret society. Can you tell us at least who invited you?
You know, it's nice to know that there's some people who have fantasy lives that have nothing to touch with. Nice to have you here. Bye-bye.
You can't answer the question? You can't?
Backlash is growing over Kevin Spacey's response to a sexual misconduct allegation. The International Academy of Television Arts and Sciences is revoking Spacey's 2017 International Emmy Founders Award, and a growing number of celebrities and organizations are now condemning him. Actor Anthony Rapp says that he was 14 when Spacey made unwanted sexual advances toward him. Spacey apologized to Rapp and in the same statement came out as gay. Jerika Duncan is here with a criticism over that timing. Jerika, good morning.
Good morning. Amid the scandal, Netflix announced that House of Cards starring Kevin Spacey will end after the 6th season, which is in production now. But sources say that decision was made months ago. In a joint statement, Netflix and the series producers say they are deeply troubled by allegations against their lead actor.
I will not yield.
House of Cards star Kevin Spacey is facing harsh criticism from Hollywood and the gay community over his apology to actor Anthony Rapp.
I was told to expect a Vulcan.
There may be a misunderstanding.
Rapp, a Broadway veteran who is now featured in Star Trek Discovery, told BuzzFeed News that he remembers Spacey picking him up and putting him on the bed and then laying down on top of him. It allegedly happened after a New York party more than 30 years ago, when Rapp was just 14. Spacey says he doesn't remember the incident, but apologized for any inappropriate drunken behavior. He then revealed he is gay. Daniel Reynolds is senior editor at The Advocate, an LGBT interest magazine.
Kevin Spacey took what should be a proud and joyous moment, which is an actor coming out, and he's conflated it with something like sexual assault. This doesn't help the conversation.
Rapp's accusation comes amid a wave of harassment claims against NBC's Mark Halperin, director James Toback, and movie mogul Harvey Weinstein. Weinstein subsequently resigned from the Producers Guild of America, which on Monday banned him for life. Spacey's apology was scrutinized by other gay actors, including Wanda Sykes, Billy Eichner, Rosie O'Donnell, George Takei, and Zachary Quinto. Quinto called Spacey's statement a calculated manipulation to deflect attention from a very serious accusation.
In a way, I think a lot of people feel it like that's another kind of silencing of a victim.
The president of GLAAD, a gay rights organization, also condemned Spacey's statement, saying this is not a coming out story about Kevin Spacey, but a story of survivorship by Anthony Rapp and all those who bravely speak out against unwanted sexual advances. Nora?
All right, Jerika, thank you so much.
Us, but what we have is too strong, it's too powerful. I mean, after all, we shared everything, you and I. I told you my deepest, darkest secrets. I showed you exactly what people are capable of. I shocked you with my honesty, but mostly I challenged you and made you think. And you trusted me, even though you knew you shouldn't. So we're not done, no matter what anyone says. And besides, I know what you want. You want me back. Of course, some believed everything and have just been waiting with bated breath to hear me confess it all. They're just dying to have me declare that everything said is true and that I got what I deserved. Wouldn't that be easy if it was all so simple? Only you and I both know it's never that simple, not in politics and not in life. But you wouldn't believe the worst without evidence, would you? You wouldn't rush to judgments without facts, would you? Anyway, all this presumption made for such an unsatisfying ending, and to think it could have been such a memorable send-off. I mean, if you and I have learned nothing else these past years, it's that in life and art, nothing should be off the table. We weren't afraid, not of what we said and not of what we did, and we're still not afraid. Because I can promise you this. If I didn't pay the price for the things we both know I did do, I'm certainly not going to pay the price for the things I didn't do. Oh, of course, they're going to say I'm being disrespectful, not playing by the rules, like I ever played by anyone's rules before. I never did, and you loved it.
At 2017, did you think that niggas would really be wearing dresses and beads in their hair and all that shit?
Nah. No way. No, listen. No way, shape, or form. Like, but I mean, I understand it, yeah. Because, you know what I mean? Like anybody will tell you, like, when it come to this right here, I'm one of the greatest. You know what I mean? So it's like, and that's what made, like, I guess made the Escos even scared, because it was like, he don't just sound like us.
He's got a knowledge of self.
That's what I'm saying. They're like, he don't just, like, you know, it's not just a voice thing. It's like, no, this young motherfucker got his shit together. You know what I mean? Like, and it's like, and that's the thing where it's like, I could see it coming, because what they did was say, you know what? Music now, like I tell people, like, music now, what they did was they flipped it on us. They turned music into crack. So what crack did in the 80s was like, it made a lot of people rich, but the damage it did is far more greater. So what they doing with music now is like, here, crack in the 80s. We're going to fuck up their whole generations to come, because we're going to dumb them down with here. It's going to make them feel good now, and it's going to make a few of y'all rich.
But the majority of y'all going to be fucked up.
It's going to fuck up y'all generation. So that's what it is. It's crack in the 80s. You know what I mean? And it's like, none of them is really, like, ain't nobody really standing up for it. Like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. What, in your opinion, what do we do? Because, you know, I be going on.
We got to start holding people accountable.
That not only that, and we got to stop fucking saying that, yeah, fight the power. Give me that bag, and I'll leave that shit alone. Because that's what I be seeing a lot of dudes do.
Oh no, that's
yeah.
But that's what's going to happen though. When people start, they gonna be like, yo, we gonna have to silence Doggy.
They already listen.
No, but that's what I'm. Listen,
they already trying.
But that's what I'm trying. Yeah. But that's what was happening. Like, I'm not with it. When they, you know what I mean? Like what they do is this is what they do. Like, and they know what they do with the artists is easy. They send the stylist at them first.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if the stylist report back and be like, oh, he ready, then they invite you to the party. And that's when they be like, yo, look, when you go in here, it's going to be some, you know what I mean? It's a nigga at the door.
Okay, now look, what Ali Vegas is doing to you right now, he's giving you the game of how these niggas be getting turned the fuck out in this shit.
Like,
they try to put this tight-ass shirt on you.
That's what they do.
And if you wear the shirt,
they like, oh, he ready.
He with it.
That's you telling them, like, yeah, I'm ready. And then next thing you know, you get invited to the party where the greeting is the man squeezing your dick.
Whoa.
I'm telling you.
Wow. Yeah.
And I'm telling them, like, yo, son, like, it's so crazy because I always tell them, like, my cousins would be like, yo, son, like, you that guy, like, why you? I'm like, bro, I don't want it that bad.
So, all right, let's keep.
You recently revealed you were sexually assaulted by a director.
Well,
why did you reveal it?
It was just something that
Female director?
No, it wasn't.
Male director?
No, I wouldn't have considered that an assault. But there was, this stuff that came out recently about Harvey Weinstein. I mean, first of all, I mean, I think I never knew that he was like he was a rapist.
I know Harvey well. I didn't know that.
I know. I mean, I think it's very common knowledge that producers can be pigs and piggish, and that would be hitting on women or being, cheating on your wife. That's what I would consider being piggish, not the sexual assault. A guy who's now he's going to have to the next time he goes into Starbucks, he's going to have to call the police and register. I'm going to Starbucks to get some, So, but what happens is with actors, you're in a vulnerable situation. You're in a vulnerable place. You're trying to get a job, and there's people who, and it's not just actors. It's any men in positions of power who could use that power to abuse it. And when I was
looking for a job,
when I was a young actor. Yeah, I was asked to go to a hotel room of a director. It was a famous director, and I didn't think anything weird by it because it never happened to me. And so I went, and he was in his robe. I still didn't think it was weird. Well, he probably just came out of the shower or whatever. And then he asked me to do, to do the scene and then crawl on my belly around it, and it got to a weird place. And I just when this stuff started coming out with Harvey Weinstein, I did remember that feeling of disgust and
did you reveal
humiliation. I didn't, because he's passed away, and I feel like if he can't defend himself, I feel weird about saying his name. But he was a famous director who worked with, he did big movies, and so. But I remember that humiliation, and I didn't tell anybody. And it's interesting because when I've seen online, Rob Schneider, I don't believe anyone would sexually harass Rob Schneider. He's not good looking enough. And so, that's what's not, so now I understand.
Somebody said that?
Yes, not just several people said that. But I get why women, why they wouldn't want to talk about it. If they say that to me about me, imagine other women. It's humiliating. Why would you want to admit this happened and that you were in this situation? And there's a sense of shame you feel.
Especially if someone's going to say, well, she's...
Yeah, I know exactly. So
that's crazy.
But I do think it's a good thing it's coming out now, because I think that it's, like I said, in any position of power where women feel like they are put in a compromising position. And then also, not just that, but I wasn't assaulted. This was something that was just disgusting. It happened. This director was, naked and I, but for women who have to feel like they have to be silent about it and then carry this with them, I felt, momentarily traumatized, but still I remember 25 years later. At the same time, these are the women, I don't feel like it scarred me forever, but I remember it. But these women, some of them got out of the show business or got out of their own business that they're in and were scarred forever. And so I think that there is a seminal moment where even the guys who have the potential to be piggish or sexually assaulters, in any position of power, even if it's on a college campus, they're going to have to think twice about it now.
Watch new episodes of Larry King Now Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on demand on Aura TV and Hulu.
Will Smith's time is nigh. Whenever you get a status to where Will Smith is sitting, you have to go through a charade of rituals. Before Will Smith became who he is, he was introduced to a charade of people that was before him, that were considered his kings, his masters, before he reached his throne. Will Smith jumped in with both feet, but there was a catch. In order for him to be where he's at, he has to do a numerous of things. But the thing they wanted the most, for him to turn out his child before the elite.
Nah, we're very affectionate.
We're very affectionate. He tried to kiss me in the Have you ever kissed your son on Thai television before?
You're allowed to kiss my son.
Can you kiss your son on Thai television?
I can kiss my son. Jaden, come on.
Are you okay?
Some of you believe that's just affection. There's nothing wrong with embracing your child before the world. But there's a lot wrong with this. Because that young man really don't embrace that type of behavior. His father forces it on him, but his son plays it off with laughter. Basically what you're seeing is a ritual. Will Smith submitting his son before the elite, before the world. This was done in Roman Catholicism to Caesar when they went to please Caesar, because Caesar also was a pedophilia. You understand what I'm telling you? This man is sacrificing his son before the world, but not with death yet, but with a sexual suggestion of gesture for the elite to have their way with his son. Yes, I can see. I can see very well all the emotional people that will leave their sarcastic and sickening comments. Because in this world, especially in America, when you say something about a celebrity, it's like saying something to the Heavenly Father. That's sad. But even more sadder, that no matter what we show you, you always have a way to defend it. But that's fine. And you're supposed to do that because you are of this world and your idolaters mean more to you than anything in this world. Hell, some people would kill their mama over Beyonce. It's just the truth. But I know it comes as a shock, man. When you hear these things and it's just like, how did he know this? Who told him this? For all of you folks that's constantly asking, how do I know? Ask yourself this. Why come all of these things are coming to pass? And these people are just coming out the closet telling you who they are. And we told you this 4 or 5 years ago. Will Smith's family is cursed. Will Smith is the ringleader. He's not wearing red just because he's pretty in red. That's a ritual color. He is the main ordeal for his family to be where they at. I know a lot of y'all thinking his wife had her name before he met her. But without Will Smith, Jada Pinkett Smith would not be nowhere near where she's at. I'm sorry, but the truth is the light. Their daughter and son, Jaden Willow, are the sacrifice for their success. It'll make sense as they start to grow older. That's if they get older. It's funny how they embrace Beyonce and Jay-Z because they're all under hypnosis and they're all under the Baphomet soul for gold. They get all their teachings and all their steps through a man by the name of Alice LaCrawley. This book that you see before him, he wrote it. And every celebrity, including Will Smith, has a copy. When you see photos like this of Aleister Crowley, you probably think it's just a hip photo, right? But what he's doing is sacrificing a dove before his Lord, and his Lord is Satan. He has the angel of death, a skull of death on his finger that represents skull and bones. Satan again. This is where they get all their rituals from in order to make soul for gold. So when you hear this man talk about Scientology, he got it from Aleister Crowley. All right? This is what he's explaining when he was on the Travis Smiley show. We can't make these things up, and nor are we picking on this man. We're just telling you how they get down.
And that you are on this path to becoming a legend yourself in this business. So when I see Will Smith saying, I am legend, I'm thinking, this is Will Smith. I am legend. You are really becoming an iconic figure. What do you make of that?
There's a concept that don't want to be an icon. I want to be an idea. You know, I want to represent an idea. I want to represent possibilities. I want to represent magic, right? That you're in a universe and 2 + 2 = 4. 2 + 2 only equals 4 if you accept that 2 + 2 = 4. 2 + 2 is going to be what I want it to be. You know, and there's a redemptive power that making a choice has, you know, rather than feeling like you're at effect to all the things that are happening. Make a choice. Like, you just decide what it's going to be, who you're going to be, how you're going to do it. Just decide. And then from that point, the universe is going to get out your way. It's like, it's water. It wants to move and go around stuff, you know.
I have 2 words to express: total madness. They get all of this Scientology from Aleister Crowley, Led Zeppelin, the Beatles, Tom Cruise, Isaac Hayes. You'd be surprised how many people of Negro descent practice these things of so-called matter. Oh, let me let y'all know this. Bernie Mac was also into the Scientology. Okay? I wanted to bring this page up with rings because this is a Hollywood thing. And y'all idolaters follow Hollywood and you're wearing this stuff and don't know what you're wearing. I want to focus on this particular ring. If you didn't notice, this ring was at the Billboard Awards. A superstar by the name of Prince, he had it on. He's very deep into Aleister Crowley and he worships Satan on the regular. We couldn't make this up, y'all. I mean, look at the back of his drums. You see the all-seeing eye. You know, a lot of y'all think we just hating. We just telling you truth. Some of y'all gonna wake up and a lot of y'all. So here we are with the Beyonce and the Will Smith family. Isn't that a coincidence? See, because Beyonce is over Jada Pinkett. She's considered the mother of witch, right? Jada's a witch too, but Beyonce is over her. Now let's go to this photo to prove that what this woman does. Now she's drinking an energy drink. That's not the interesting part. But pay attention to her right hand. She has Satan on her middle finger. If we'd have told you this, you'd have said, oh, there he go again. No, Satan on her middle finger. We're going to bring it up a little bit close because this is how she gets down, man. All of them. That's Satan on the microphone with her. How you think she's so talented? How you think she Sasha Fierce one day, then Beyonce the next? We ain't making this up. We showing you every day how these people make their money. And they hang with the same people that do what they do because anybody else considered an outcast. They support the churches too, you know that? Yes. When you see a church on TBS, TBN, there's a breakdown to that symbol. That we go with the dove again. You notice they do the same thing Aleister Crowley instructed them to do. These are instructions he told them to do. Well, the breakdown of that symbol is right before you. You can take your time out and pause the film and read it for yourselves. But I found the interesting breakdown was at the top. Because the crown that sits on the top of that head is called dog. But the abbreviation of the background, if you flip it, is called God. And the truth of that is called dogma. You understand? They still practice this in the European world with Prince Charles and Diana, his mama, Lady Queen, or whoever she is. They still go by them rituals. That was that whole ritual went back into the Roman Catholicism of Caesar, man. And this is why his sons and daughters are so precious to give up. He's turning his daughters into a boy and turning his boy into a girl. Do you understand what's going on? And in order for Will Smith was doing a different type of sacrifice. He's sacrificing the humiliation of turning their sexual intentions the opposite before the world. And that's why he keep rising up in fame. Because he's given his children that is, to the elites. He's whoring, totally whoring them out to the public. He looked like a girl, man. Dressed like a girl. And the sister dressed like a boy. That's not a mistake. They doing that to make young kids want to change their genders. That's like a damn dress he got on. You get what I'm saying? This whole entire family is twisted. And the children really are innocent, but they got the bloodline of their daddy and mama that makes them evil as well. We can't make it up. Everybody in Hollywood is screwing. Don't you think for one time that Mark Anthony he tapped that booty? Because he has.
If you can spell alchemist. That's a good Scrabble word, alchemist.
No, but the alchemist, right? Because it's great. Like what I consider myself an alchemist. An alchemist is basically a mystical chemist, right? And one of the great feats that alchemists used to do is they would take lead, just take a chunk of lead, and they could turn lead into gold, right? So the symbolism.
Sounds like a good hustle.
All right, no, right?
When I leave here, give me some lead.
Give me some lead.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know, but I'm so connected to symbolically being able to turn lead into gold.
Remember, these people tell you so much truth and so many lies. But the next clip, Will Smith will speak some truth.
I'm motivated by fear. Fear. You know? Fear of what? Fear of fear. I hate being scared to do something. And I think what developed in my early days was the attitude that I started attacking things that I was scared of.
It was Franklin Roosevelt said the only fear you have to fear is fear itself.
Absolutely.
Remember that?
You can't be scared to die for the truth. The truth is the only thing that's ever going to be constant.
The truth is always true. A lot of times when these Scientology people speak, they know they're lying to get you hypnotized, to follow them and to be like them, to captivate your soul. But in so many essence of their words, right at the end of the peak, he tells you a lot of truth. When Will Smith saying that the truth is the only thing that matters, disregard everything he said before that. Because at the end of that segment, he told you the truth is all that matters. And his facial expressions even clarifies that he's right.
You can't be scared to die for the truth. The truth is the only thing that's ever going to be constant. You can't be scared to die for the truth. The truth is the only thing that's ever going to be constant. It's not even over that. You can't be scared to die for the truth.
Barakatha, blessing to all of those who received it. These rituals are real. There's several types of rituals to make it into Hollywood. Blood sacrifice being the number one. Killing somebody you love, someone close to you. Actually, you set it up and they do the sacrifice for you. Humiliation is what he's doing with his child here. He's humiliating his teenage boy in front of the world so that he can continue to come up through his Scientology guide of Aleister Crowley's teachings. Sex slaves. If you have a daughter, Willow Smith is also being led by his mama, Jada Pinkett Smith. Turning her sexual gender from girl to boy makes young people want to be the opposite of what the Lord made them. These people are practicing rituals right before your face, but y'all don't want to accept it because you love the idolater world. The Lord has told us the idolaters is going to fall hard as the ones that created the idolaters. Do you understand this? And what I mean by created the idolaters, created the famous people to follow so that you will be captivated by their lies and to want to be like them. So continue to be lied to. Continue to follow the paths of Will Smith, Jada Pinkett Smith, and all these people who mean you no well. You really believe that life is just matter? You really believe all you got to do is think it and you become it? Without the Heavenly Father guiding your way, you have nothing to become but astray. The Lord told us in the book of Isaiah 45:7 that he controlled the good, he controlled the peace, the evil. Satan has to go to council before he do anything of this world, because Satan is a fallen angel. That's why the Lord cast him down in a bolt of lightning. That's why Lady Gaga put lightning bolts on her eyes. And you see Mountain Dew with lightning bolts. They worshiping Satan. All the high elites of the 1% get down like that. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you got something out of it. And if you didn't, it's not my fault.
I'm telling you right now.
What do we have to do here?
Nothing. I'm going to take a shower. You sit there and have a drink. Water.
I don't drink. Can I stay on the bar?
No, you must come here now.
No.
Please.
No, I don't want to.
I'm not doing anything with you. Now you're embarrassing me.
I'm sorry. I cannot. No, yesterday was a kind of aggressive for me. I need to know a person to be touched.
I won't do a thing.
I don't want
please. I swear I won't. Just sit with me. Don't embarrass me in the hotel. I'm here all the time.
I
Sit
know,
with me.
but
I
I don't
promise.
want to.
Please sit there. Please. 1 minute.
No,
I ask
I can't.
you. Go to the bathroom.
Please, I don't want to do something I don't want
Go
to.
to the bathroom. Come here. Listen to me.
I want to go downstairs.
I'm not going to do anything. You'll never see me again after this. Okay? That's it. If you embarrass me in this hotel,
I'm not embarrassing you. It's just that I don't feel comfortable.
I mean, don't have a fight with me in the hallway. Please, I'm not going to do anything. I swear, my children. Please come in. On everything. I'm a famous guy.
I'm feeling very uncomfortable right now.
Please come in now. And 1 minute. And if you want to leave, when the guy comes with my
Why
jacket, you can go.
yesterday you touched my wrist?
Oh, please, I'm sorry. Just come on. I'm used to that. Come on.
Are you used to that?
Yes, come in. Because
No, but I'm not used to that.
I won't do it again. Come on. Sit here. Sit here for a minute, please.
No, I don't want to.
If you do this now, you will embarrass me. No. Fine. Never call me again. Okay? I'm sorry. I promise you I won't do anything.
I know, but yesterday was too
The
much.
guy's coming. I will never do another thing to you. 5 minutes. Don't ruin your friendship with me for 5 minutes.
I know, but it's kind of like, it's too much for me. I can't.
Please, you're making a big scene here.
No,
Please.
but I want to leave.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
Meanwhile, CBS News has learned that just hours before he was fired by his own company, Harvey Weinstein sent a letter asking other Hollywood executives to support him. In that letter, he wrote, quote, "I am desperate for your help."
A system second to none, and make it better. A better America, where there's a job for everyone who wants one. Where women working outside the home can be confident their children are in safe and loving care, and where government works to expand child care alternatives for parents.
I've got a credential, and I've got a...
Comes through as representatives to the Hollywood Reporter, and nothing more was said other than he denies the allegations. It's in response to a National Enquirer report claiming Sheen raped Haim while they were working together on the set of Lucas in 1986.
The problem in Hollywood was and is and always will be pedophilia. That's the biggest problem for children in this industry.
The casting couch even applies to children.
Why isn't the pedophilia at the same time as making pedo stories in the news every day? And yeah, they're doing all this shit to the kids. It's awful. But yes, we should be directly concerned with our own kids. Okay? And we should be directly concerned with how these psyops are going to be used in order to infringe upon our own rights.
What is at stake is more than one small country. It is a big idea, a new world order, where diverse nations are drawn together in common cause to achieve the universal aspirations of mankind.
Create a new world order, because the global order is changing again. And the institutions and the rule that worked so well in the post-World War II era for decades, they need to be strengthened. And some have to be changed.